trading usually hurts progression. See, I just feel like trading is such a, I know it's controversial, but like I feel like every game that has good trading in it works out much better. And I don't mind locking maybe a couple of those random, or not random, but like specific, unique or mythic, whatever things that are like behind. You have to kill 10 bosses, combine them, you get that one thing. I don't know if I mind locking that tiny little thing that gives you 0.1% more power. But when you have a lot, if you can buy best in slot items, there's no reason to farm gear. If you can buy best in slot items, you have farmed a lot. Do you know how much that druid helm is worth? Let me see if I can find. Let's go here. Let me zip through. Right there. Do you know how much this is worth? You don't just buy this item super easy, like, oh, I just started. Oh, hey, I'll give you a pull rune for that. Okay, here you go. Like, to get this item, you would have to farm an equivalent best in slot item for another, like...
Terminator 100 bonus 10. I think it would be awesome to have a like when X number of a class hit max level, Y boss gets an increased chance to drop a piece of gear
cool
for that class.
Yeah. So, like, there's not, like, I that's what I have to say to that. You can't just buy best in slot. Now, can you buy, a Shaco kind of easily? Yeah, okay, sure. That won't take too long to farm up enough gear to maybe get one Shaco or something. Also, yeah, nobody would trade you with runes for that, exactly. Like, right? But that's the point, right? That goes back to that picture that I had. Let me add that picture here really fast. And then we can see that add files here. Oh, gosh dang it. That one, right? This goes back to this picture idea, which is that the player power, like the Shaco exists at that 80% slot, right? Most people are going to be able to get up to get Shaco, to get Oculus, to get, items that you can find in Nightmare that are good items that are going to be good. I've become the graph. That's right. And it's just my head now. But most people aren't going to get to this point. There. Or here even. Or here even, right? Like, the problem is websites like DTJSP make it easy point to buy those top tier items. It's still, most people even on JSP would not have enough to afford that druid helm. That would be worth, I can't even tell you the value. I would say at least 10k forum gold. I don't know what the current, value and inflation of it has been, but like, and sure, but maybe this is where you have that local trading, right? So instead of having trading that is universal and I can just look up really quick and go, oh, that, okay, cool, and get it. Now you have local trading, so now I'm having to look around in my area. What sort of stuff exists there? Creates kind of a different, there's no set full value on things, but in this area, what's kind of the value for stuff? So, yeah, is there always going to be the potential that someone can wire you, or pay you on eBay $500 and you give them the item for nothing? Sure. Okay, yeah. Like, that can exist. To me, that doesn't like matter. The trade-off is worth so much more for having open trading than, caring that like a few people are gonna buy best in slot gear. In PoE, you can farm 1k of the same map
We
over and
out here,
over,
boys.
and then buy all the best in slot pieces without farming for them. Well, once again, you're not buying the best in slot pieces. You're buying good pieces, and then some pieces that are close to best in slot. But like best in slot almost doesn't exist in a lot of cases, right? That item might not have ever dropped the best in slot T1 roll of every single thing, you know. And then the point there becomes, if that's how somebody wants to play the game, where they farm a map 1,000 times to get the gear, so that, or the value, the currencies, whatever, so they can trade for all of that stuff, let them do that then. Like, why are you telling them that they can't play the game that way? You're not allowed to farm for currency 1,000 times so that you can trade it to the guy who wanted to farm bosses and find that loot and is willing to trade it to you for that. Like, let the person do it however they want, you know? Like, because they don't know what they like. That's the, you know, let them enjoy. People are going to enjoy the game how they want to enjoy the game. Thank you, Sit Kid, by the way, for the sub, and West Dude for the biddies, and SRS Sonata as well. You know, that's the whole point. Like, if you want to be the guy that farms for best in slot gear, go do that. If you want to be the guy that farms for crafting materials or currency or whatever to trade for best in slot gear, go do that. If you want to be the guy who just PvPs and streams and asks people to donate gear to him so that he can have good gear to PvP with, go do that. Like, literally enjoy the game however you like. Right? That's the thing. Is like, overall it becomes a community thing, right? Where if there is a, thank you, Evo.
Can I be the guy that makes overlays and other trolling media?
Yeah, you can be that guy, you know. Overall, there's a community where it's like the community will, as a whole, farm best in slot gear, farm crafting materials, kill these bosses, do this stuff. They're going to do all the different things together and then amongst themselves decide how they want to divvy it up, basically. That's all. Nice signal. Thank you, Hippo Friend. I love that name. Mwah! Appreciate that. Do you think it would be essential to play D2 to provide good feedback for D4 since most of the fan base was built on D2 rather than D3? Yeah, that's why I'm providing a lot of this feedback. Would it be cool if top tier items have expiration? Oh, that would suck. Could be cool, but it would also super suck. I guess it would depend on what the items were that had it and stuff like that, you know? I guess that's what a season is for. You know, like 6 months, 3 months, whatever it is, the next season comes around, everything has now expired. And then you can go from there. Eth items, useless in D2. Pretty much, yeah. Like, nobody uses ethereal items. But if everything was ethereal, you would have to use them. I mean, you're talking like Breath of the Wild, you know, style, where like you can never, there's no object permanence in existence. Rather, everything has a finite life to it. Do you feel positive about D4? I have a reaction video on it. Overall, I feel positive that they're making it and that, you know, it's coming around. I think the engine was good. But obviously, I think there's some things that I want to make sure we get across as like stuff that we would really like. How do you feel about Kanai's cubes? You can open yourself to more gear to use instead of being restricted one item to make your build work. Let me look up more on Kanai's cube. How to use Kanai's cube? Once you do it, you can just say drag and drop items from your inventory, transmute. This is magically combining items. Upgrade, convert set item, convert gems. Yeah, I mean, I think it's always good to have things like that. I loved, like, being able to. I remember, like, the legendary powers and stuff. I don't know about that exactly, but I love the idea of, like, being able to combine stuff to, like, upgrade the base of an item and stuff. I think that was good in D2, at least from my knowledge of it. What about gold sinks or item sinks to avoid endless inflation of prices like we've seen over time in retail? Wow. Well, that's where I think you could do it with, like, those events, right? Or you could do it with, gambling or whatever it is, but, like, make it have areas for sure that you can decrease deflate the economy somewhat. I definitely agree that should exist. What's the difference between a mythic dungeon and a greater rift? A lot of difference. Greater rifts are infinite scaling, infinite power, exponentially growing. Mythic dungeons, or key dungeons here, are limited and you're rolling affixes onto them as they're growing in power, and so it becomes this instead of this. If you mean between World of Warcraft and Diablo 3, I don't know enough about Mythic Dungeons overall. I don't know, Igna. Yeah, we'll see how it is when it comes out. Why do people want offline gameplay? Because a lot of people don't have great internet. A lot of people hate dying to, oh, the server lagged and now I lose my hardcore character. Oh, I got dropped. Oh, the game is down for maintenance, but I want to play right now. Like, all of that stuff that exists can be annoying. And also, some people just want to exist in a world by themselves and not have anyone else around. Plus, like, what if I go to the beach and I want to play on the beach? Oh, there's no internet there? Can't play my favorite game. Okay, he just meant extracting legendary powers. I mean, I think it could be okay. I like other powers, but I think it's not a terrible thing for sure. Jambling, woo! Everybody loves that. Let's see. Is Kind of Styles 3X going to be put in the trash? I don't think it'll be put in the trash. I think they're listening for sure. And if they do put it in the trash, like, you know what? It's the same as if I didn't make it at all, so who cares? We're just going to kick you out there, bud. Currency for player to NPC trading and items for player to player trading. Yeah. But even making it so, like, gold is worth some value to trade, I think isn't bad at all. Okay, thanks, Elysium. As far as I understand, having offline gameplay makes it super easy to data mine and hack. And that's kind of like also something that they don't want. They don't want data mining, they don't want hacking, they don't want people to have all the files. They'll keep a lot of stuff server side. I think that's a good reason. I think it also has a monetizational reason, which is you can't sell something to someone who's offline, right? Is it really necessary for an endless scaling late game? I use farm different routes for items or new builds or trading into CSI with that. No, that's the point I'm saying. Endless scaling late game sucks. It's terrible. It ruins the rest of the game. Thoughts about progressively diverse player enemy mechanics to provide ways for special offensive advantages or ways of defense, block, evasion against certain types of attack. This can encourage diverse builds. Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with that. Like, the more ways that I can engage in dueling and fighting and dodging and all of that, the better. But you just have to make sure you balance it appropriately, right? Do you think it'll turn into an MMO? If not, how long do you think they aren't going to prevent it turning into World of Diablo? I don't think World of Diablo would be the worst thing in the world. I think you can have a great mix between an ARPG and an MMO, and I think that could be a great way to have continued community engagement a little bit. I don't think that's a horrible idea. Just do enough to keep them separate. There's very different, distinct things between an ARPG and an MMO, and just as long as you keep those things separate, I don't think having more of this shared world style is that bad. Did PoE and D3 as good as multiplayer communities as D2? No. Not at all. There's an earthquake in Dallas. Wait, Islam is shaking. Wait, am I shaking? Oh, sorry. I got restless leg syndrome. I wish they would keep offline online characters. Problem solved. Yeah, but I still think the big issue comes down to them like worrying about people hacking and data mining and stuff. That's a big thing that they don't want to have. I think there's potential for an esport with PvP. I think so as well. I think gold standard would be better than SOJ standard, for instance. I thought that gold was worthless. Yeah, I would rather have gold have real value in it. From your encounter with the pre-alpha, what do you think of the system Rex? Will it require 2 hardcore gear to run the game? What do you mean? I don't understand that question. Sorry. Love the idea of being able to play through all parts of Sanctuary. Me too.
Off topic, but just wanted to share thing in
Dirtbags.
ancient tunnels and just found me a lightsaber.
Nice.
Which is a fun find.
Yeah. Putting on high level cooldowns to make your character flee like poo during the downtime. I mean, they're dumb, right? Don't give me ultimates. Because if I have an ultimate, I'm either A, just waiting until the ultimate comes off cooldown again before I go and engage X combat, or B, I'm never using it because I'm always saving it for whenever there's that big thing that I need it for. So it's either like mass cooldown reduction, so I'm always in ultimate form, or never using it, only saving it for like the boss fight or whatever it is. I just don't think it's an ARPG thing. How do you give gold real value if you can farm it so easy? I mean, you could just scale that, scale gold in a way so that it's not farmed crazy easily, maybe. And then additionally, that would take a recheck on the gold system, basically. What do you think about a Metal Mancer class like Magneto? Ooh, that'd be kind of fun. That'd be interesting. I don't know how that would fit in the lore, but it could be fun. Or so you just feel weak when it's on cooldown, only viable when it's off cooldown. Kind of ties to the point A, I suppose. Yep, exactly. I think my Diablo 2 installs are messed up. I'm sorry to hear that. I like making characters that farms gold for gambling. That is fun. I like having those characters. Yeah, you would need gold sinks for sure. Will D4 have a skill tree system that will make each build the possibility to be unique? It doesn't seem like it right now as much. They have like talent tree, which kind of does, but I hope there's more to it. What class are you hoping for last 2 spots? I think it'll be Amazon Paladin, and I think that's fine. D2 throwback. One big problem for me is that new games have a constant evolution with new patches, and so it creates a never-ending rebuilding of characters and new meta for PvP, PvM. One of the main reasons I love D2 is because, except for a lot of resets, it's static in development because it's no longer being patched. Imagine a new patch of D2 where you add new race crafts that makes all the race crafts I've gathered over the year useless. I think you just have to be really careful about how you balance it, right? I think maybe even sometimes you go down in the strength of stuff. So maybe a new season comes out, old crafts go away, they roll off of the standard, right, from like Magic the Gathering. The new one comes out, it's got worse crafts. So the items that exist in the overall standard ladder are better, but that's okay because like ladder is its own unique thing, and you don't always have to be adding everything that's always power and increasing and more and better. Sometimes you can just add different. Right? Once again, it goes back to the idea of horizontal progress instead of vertical progress. Sometimes you're just creating something that's new, different, that's horizontally, a move as opposed to adding something that's more. There was a concept art at BlizzCon for a hunter, so that's probably our new range class. Okay, I can do like hunter then, yeah. You still only have 3 performable gold character and it takes time to roll. Yeah, I mean, it's different for... D2 obviously gold's not a great example. It kind of fails pretty quick. I haven't played Bloodborne. I've heard great things. Health potion system. I don't have great thoughts on the health potion system. I think it needs to be some sort of consumable for sure. I don't think it needs to be cooldown, but consumable instead. Make me have to decide if I'm drinking it or not, depending on it takes time to craft it. It takes time to get these, whatever. Will they release another Necro expansion? I think so. I think that it would be better there because they just had Necro in Diablo 3. So if they put him as a base class here, then it's like you're skipping Druid for 2 games now, and so obviously the Druid exists now. Whatever. How would I make gold great in D2? I don't know. I really don't know what would make it great. You would have to decrease the amount that drops a lot, probably. Hey, Radical. You can maybe allow it so you can buy crafting materials with it so it becomes a massive gold sink for crafting mats. I don't know. Can you compare the camera zoom and angle in all hack and slash games in which you prefer and what cameras are bad? I like Diablo 2's because it's got a little bit more distance to it. I felt like Diablo 4 was closer but not too close. Path of Exile I feel like is too close. Honestly, I also wouldn't mind an over the shoulder a little bit, but I can understand why a lot of people don't want that. What do you think of being able to find potion filters? So items you equip that buff your base potions, almost like charms that always apply to your potions. You could rarely move 2 to 4 at the same time. I mean, I think having potion mods as random affixes on items could be kind of fun. I don't think that'd be the worst thing ever. So they're talking about expansions. Can I tell people like the game is worth an expansion? I mean, of course they're going to talk about expansions, but I definitely hope that they do focus on the main base game as well. They'll also very likely not want players to create multiple characters of the same class. They implement features in D3 to achieve that. Yeah, I think that's dumb. Like, why would you not want people to create multiple characters of the same class? Why? That's just more playtime. If I want to experience the sorceress 9 times for 9 different builds, let me do that. Like, let me have fun with that. Why are you telling me like how I need to play the game? Like allow that for sure.
Fresh meat.
Thank you, Ripley. Appreciate that. 5 months. I don't even see any reason why watching the Vive Gold would be difficult in the slightest. Yeah. Thoughts on enemies dropping health that you have to run over like in D3? I don't remember that. Sorry. Could the game use something like a town alchemist that would let the player craft / buy consumables? Yeah, you'd do something like that. How do you think a game that was literally the same game as D2 skills, characters, was all released on the D3 engine would do? You mean D4 engine? I think it would be sick in the D4 engine. D3 is still too cartoony and stuff, but I think it would do all right either way. Did I see the Discord with the longer explanation of character evolution? Yes. From you put it in that like Diablo chat or whatever it was. I still don't like character evolution personally. I just don't think I think it adds too much of that like power boosting. Unless it's like 1%, like very, very, very tiny. But overall, I don't know. Character evolution could be all right, but it would have to be very toned down. Why are you telling others how to play the game because you don't like the loadouts? Okay, fair. That's fair. I just think giving more options is better than giving less options, and more option comes with having the ability to create more character identity. So I feel like when you have a loadout and you have just kind of generic level 70 witch or whatever it is, then it just becomes so many fewer options. When's the healer class? Who knows? Oh, that's something I didn't talk about, was like having support classes. I guess that'll be a different discussion. I think you should play D3 for a bit to see what's in it and make critiques. I've played not a lot of D3. I've played 2 weeks of D3. I don't remember a ton of it. It was like 3 years ago, but I played through it at least. Is there a collection of all D4 panels and videos? Probably just somewhere around. What about resource regeneration being based on the champion and not items? What do you mean by being based on the... you mean like if you upgrade to champion, then you get better resource regen or something? It'd be okay. I still just don't know about the champion style. Support classes would be great. How is it more option if you have level X characters of the same class? That was annoying in D3 start before the loadouts. Well, the point is, or the purpose is, I guess, that like you're creating a new experience and developing, like building a character, and it's not just get to 70 before the game starts sort of thing. The actual play through the game is really fun. If I'm playing through as a blizzard sorceress, a cold sorceress, my playthrough is very different than if I'm playing through as a fire sorceress. And then when I get to the end and I have this ultimate fire source, ultimate cold source, ultimate whatever, it's like that whole character's journey and experience has like a lot of meaning, and it makes it fun to play through the game over and over again, such as D2. There's a lot of replayability with it. Whereas if it's just get to 70 and then nothing prior to 70 mattered, yeah, it's going to be really annoying to level up another level 70 character because it just feels like a chore at that point. But once again, you can just have a different opinion on that. Will the heroes in D4 be Nephilim again? I don't know. D2 needs to have you pay your mercs regularly. You got to pay them for it. That's funny. When D3 beta came out, did people criticize it, or was it later on? I'm sure people criticized it. I wasn't a part of the beta. I would love Elemental Destructibles played a big role in D2. Knock a tree over, smash a group of Fallen. I've seen some things like that. It could be kind of fun. That's engine stuff. Wouldn't you like Diablo 4 World to have 50 villages with each own quest, emulating MMO RPG feeling instead of 3 to 4 big cities and 10 quests in total? Yeah, I mean, I think you can definitely have, there's a good mix there somewhere. Play season 19 for D3. The classic games team have been doing a great job with the game. Okay, I'll have to go try it out again. Do you think that the game should have open world PvP? Yeah, I think you can have lots of different PvP events and lots of different PvP stuff. That would be a lot of fun. I just mean as a base. Use Palace as an example. Holy is the resource. It has flat regen, bonus gen, and the presence of undead. Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I think resource regen needs that stuff. If you haven't played D3 in years, it might be fun to play for a couple weeks. Yeah, I might try it again for a couple weeks. Played D3 for years, not fun after 2 weeks in a given season. That's generally the feedback I still hear, but leveling in D2 is fun. Exactly. I do like the leveling experience in D2. And obviously some people also want to just get boosted through it because they don't want to go through that whole experience. Right? Like you see both sides of it for sure. The game is beyond, I mean, it's whatever, right? Isn't that the problem with putting support heavy builds in the game, that it'll always heavily favor group play rather than solo play in terms of endgame stuff? I think that there's definitely like that argument for sure, and I think that honestly it's not a terrible thing to like create content that's more aimed at group play and then create content that is more for solo play. Like obviously the difficulty of an area is going to go up, but like it could be really cool if there's one specific dungeon type that is based around like team play, and so people are finding the best combinations to get the furthest in that dungeon or whatever, right? What do you think about Diablo 4 Endgame just being rerolling a new class or build rather than progressing a character? What do you mean? I don't understand. Sorry. Leveling into 2 is basically the same experience as playing in the 90s. Like level 90s or playing back in the 90s? Did devs release some info about the endgame content of D4? Not a ton. They talked about key dungeons, though, which I think is a good start. You don't really see the argument here. That's fine. I mean, I just really I like leveling. I don't know how much Diablo 2 you've played, Orca. I love the leveling experience in Diablo 2, so much so that that's what I do over and over again. And one of the reasons it's also great is because scaling is not, or I should say monsters don't scale to your level, and so I can like create my own difficult or easy experience as I level up depending on what I want. Right, so if I want to speedrun through the game and be in, way higher level areas as a lower level, I can do that, but I have to have like more skill and make it harder for myself. I think stuff like that makes it really fun. When the areas all scale with you, then leveling becomes really boring, in my opinion. Then it's just like, just get me through this so I can get to the content that actually gets hard. D3 runs today. DB plan to play D3 next week. I might join. Oh, maybe we'll join that. How do you think that hardcore should work? Should the player be able to insta-save and quit, for instance? I feel like that's kind of cheesy. I do think permadeath should exist. I think they should also maybe have certain instances where it doesn't. But, for the most part, yeah, permadeath that's what people want with hardcore. I mean, touch Diablo 4 didn't have open world PvP. I need open world PvP zones, not some dumb little arena or special event. Gotta be able to hunt players down. Yeah, I mean, I think you should have zones at least, right? There should definitely be safe places and places that I can get away from it, but I think it'd be really cool to have zones, and maybe like certain content within there is a little bit harder, you get like cooler drops or some whatever stuff, but obviously you can die. Gotta talk about bringing the commands of D2 with the first community of series, these commands like Diablo 2 with the F keys for the skills. Yeah, I'd love for them to have that customization in the UI and just kind of allow you that. There's nothing wrong with group-based endgame. Pretty much all WoW is group game. Yeah, I mean, like I say, I think have solo stuff, have endgame for group stuff. Never been a fan of ultimate, so if there's a power meter you could build which would augment a skill of your choice when it reaches max, there's more variety in play. The problem is I still feel like that works like an ultimate, right? It depends how much it augments it. If it's a small thing, sure. If it's some like big thing, like you get Archon mode, then there would be something like gain your ultimate meter faster mod. I know they would put in there, and then it becomes that same idea where you're just waiting to build that meter up so you can go into Archon mode, so then you're Archon for the next whatever. You get anxious playing with others. You like having solo content as well. Yeah, I think you should have both. Thoughts on a system where boosting is possible, someone doing ancients for you, then just chilling when they kill Diablo. I think it's fine. Like I say, some people like Orca don't want to do the leveling experience, and so you make it so they can get boosted through. But make it so that it can also be a really fun experience. Appreciate you bringing Class D to perspective. You should consider watching D3 and understand where the fans are coming from. Like I said, I've played some of it. I've watched some of it, but I haven't played it in 3 years, so I haven't, tested or done anything with that. Thank you, Dakota.
Sup, llama. Nice hat.
Thank you. Do you value building a character up or combat more? I mean, I think I value both in different ways. I enjoy the aspect of building in D2, getting character strength. Yeah. I went to, yeah, that's the PvP one. I guess we can turn chat on here so we can kind of see things. Mob scaling with you is not fun. Yeah, I don't like it. Same as in PoE, right? If everything scales, there's no reason to level. Pretty much, instead of making level 40 easy accessible, why not make the level cap really high and difficult? I hope that they do that. Once again, I don't think that endgame content should start at level 70. I think endgame content should start when you beat Hell Lilith or whatever, right? So if I do that at level 60, cool. If I do it at 70, cool. If I do it at 80, all right, like whatever. I agree. Having that like really difficult, level 100, level 99, whatever is fun, more fun. Terra MMORPG has better combat system than Diablo 3 or D4, even Path of Zoom. I did play Terra for a little bit. I don't know. I felt like Diablo 4 combat felt pretty good. Terra MMO definitely felt like it had more MMO style combat. I think you can have some scaling, but you definitely need hard floors and caps on monster level scaling. Everything scaling to your character 100% of the time is bad design. I mean, I just think you don't even need to scale at all. I think there's just zone and monsters in it are difficult, and so that just becomes like a cool thing when I'm finally strong enough to beat those monsters. How long would you like it to take to reach max level? Once again, it depends. Is max level impossible to attain or like impossible like Diablo 2, or is max level achievable but very difficult? I think, giving it at least a couple weeks to get there is fun as long as you can access endgame content earlier than max level. I've never been a fan of ultimates. If there's a power meter? Oh yeah, the power meter stuff. Talked about that. I don't know if this has been brought up. Does gameplay change? Seem like they're leaning towards a PoE style endgame. I hope that they kind of are there. How do I feel about Grim Dawn? I like Grim Dawn. I wish I played it more. I probably should. You have FPS issues in D2. Try reinstalling it. If that doesn't work, make sure you're in like admin mode and compatibility mode, stuff like that. Still doesn't work, get Glide Wrapper for it. That helps a lot of people. Put hardcore into softcore, which has a different market. I think hardcore people like permadeath more personally. When it just rolls over to softcore, I think it's like kind of easy way out. Am I the one who thinks mage spells look like they're from a 2005 game? I don't know. I wish you were on the D4 dev team. Would you do it if they offer you a design position? If the price is right. That'd be fun though. My fear for D4 is that they're just going to put everything good from PoE and miss the entire point of Diablo. I think there's definitely a lot that they need to take from Diablo first and make sure they're in that world and everything there. Leveling up new characters, testing new builds is favorite part of D2. I mean, that is like the end game content in D2. Yeah, and it's like fun to rush randos, make them happy. Sometimes you get loot rewards on the way. Exactly. Like even rushing and boosting was a fun part. What if there isn't a Nightmare in Hell? I mean, I hope there is. I hope they have difficulties in it. D4 Blizzard skill is the worst Blizzard I've ever seen in a game. I think the Blizzard skill could look better for sure. I agree. I have not played Tibia. I think Diablo 3 missing the entire part of Diablo 2 and there's no public game list. Ganking Diablo 2 is the most fun aspect. Always under Road Invaders. Yeah. The game list is fun. How would you feel if they left out the ability to make a gray nerd box above your head and put people in it? I love that. I think the biggest downfall of D3 is the fact the story mode is pointless. Really makes the game feel, yeah. Should max level be almost unreachable like in D2? Yeah, like I say, I think that's okay. Didn't seem to have attribute point choices. Do you think it should have it? Of course. I don't like the just attack, just defense stats, whatever, and not choosing with that attribute point stuff. Even if it's not perfect in Diablo 2, which it's far from perfect, I still think it's a good thing to have in some way. What are Plummet next Cal level? How do you see it taking form? Hopefully they go back to a more gruesome style of level like that. I don't know if it has to be cows. It could be, chickens or something, but whatever. I delete all SC characters in PoE. I only keep them as build reminders. There you go. Should XP always have a value for your character? You can hit max level and still ban from getting XP, but a diminished return. Paragon levels. I mean, paragons and all that is the infinite scaling that needs to not exist, right? I think you have that diminishing returns. What's the difference between level 98 and level 99? Well, to get to level 98 or to get to level 99 is like, to get to level 98 is half the time it takes to get to level 99. But the difference is 1 skill point and 5 stat points. Like, it's pretty much worthless. It's just like a title of 99, but it's cool that you can like have that work towards that like crazy goal. But there's very, very little difference between them, except for the time it takes to get there. What do you know about PvP? I mean, I PvP'd in Diablo 2 for a bit. I enjoyed it a lot, but that's about all the PvP I've really done besides like Dota 2, like games that have like that kind of PvP and whatever. Um, right. It was really cool to see like high level characters come into your game. Exactly. Hopefully talent trees go 50 points deep. I mean, I hope that they go crazy with talent trees and have a lot of fun for customization. Why doesn't Blizz want to innovate on D4 if it's taken from other games? Items and skills are like born hybrid of D2 and D3. It's like they're scared of doing new things. I mean, they're doing open world and stuff, so they're doing new thing kind of in some ways. But yeah, I hope that they like innovate more while also keeping good core concepts. Have you played Marvel Heroes? I have not. I've heard really good things about it, but it's offline now, right, or whatever. I think Paragon was finite and didn't just give main stat boosts. Could be wild. Oh, if it was finite, I mean, yeah, it could be something. I don't know. I just don't like Paragon level as they are. The infinite scaling is really what ruined Diablo 3 for the most part. Also, is kind of shallow at the end of the game, so not a lot to do. You kind of just ran out and got bored after a couple weeks, right? There you go. Warren only PvP'd for 20k hours, so he's going to be the expert on it. Yeah, I don't have 20k hours of PvP. I have maybe like 500. They said that they would have legendary drops as you level and then better versions of them drop at max level. Yeah, I hate that. I think that that's not the way to go at all. Once again, that ruins anything for existing prior to level 70, and it ruins that leveling experience. Why even have it? Marvel Heroes is only on consoles, is it? Oh, PC version dead. Got you. Will I be doing any speedruns today? I was thinking of doing some speedruns, but I need to go help Kylie with some stuff, so I think I'm not going to be able to do speedruns. I think already you'll be able to max all skills. Thank you, Dr. Hicks. Max all skills, but not all talents. Yeah, that's what they said. Hopefully it's neither gets maxed. Infinite scaling in the game. If I'm not doing more damage than U.S. national debt, then the game's not worth playing. Nice. I think for D4 to see in the game, they need to give players more diverse tools to create their own builds. Yeah, just create everything, right? Have more content. If I want to do fishing, let me go fishing. If I want to, explore the underworld of the ocean, let me do that. Obviously, you don't have an ocean or whatever, but like that sort of stuff. Sets in D3 tended to make small numbers of skills super OP. Is there a way to better to do sets? Don't have sets be end game. Have sets be mid game gear, so you can build search those and then build out of upgrading out of them. I'll be able to see somewhere in HUDs, for example, be like, dang, that guy has X, and knowing that what that gives that character. Yeah, it is really fun. Do you have any input with the devs regarding the direction of the game? I mean, I've given a lot of that, including this Endgame talk that I just did. So I'm going to upload that to my YouTube, !YouTube for those that want to see it. How do you deal with the bad D2 graphics? I love the D2 graphics. I'm not saying that the games in the future need to go back to sprite-based graphics and be 800 by 600 and all of this, right? But I love sprite. I like the look of it a lot. And so StarCraft, Brood War, and Original, and, Diablo 2 and all of that stuff. I really like that style personally. But, for some people, they just don't like it. That's fair. One thing I like with the way you describe dungeons actually reminds me of D2 PvP. Good PvP characters need to have a stash full of swap gear to optimize their character for each matchup. Yeah, exactly. And so if you have that with dungeons, it could be really fun. I agree. What do you think of encountering random people in the world? And did they say if you can disable it? You can do solo. They said you can do everything solo in the game. You'll still probably see people, I would imagine, in the overworld. It doesn't look like they have like a solo, area where you never see anyone as of right now, because then they're building an entire world for you, and I don't think they have like that set. But you can like always solo any dungeon, anything like that. Game has good graphics. It's just a small resolution. It gets most people. Yeah, it's usually what it is. And then when it scales up, it looks terrible. Or if you make it big screen, I should say. As a huge Diablo 3 fan, D3 must have been a major letdown, and the long wait for Diablo 4 kind of stinks. I mean, it is what it is. You can do everything solo in Fallout 76 too. Oh god, get out of here. If I wanted friends, I would play World of Warcraft. Oh, there you go. Will each hero have a hideout like in PoE? Their own area. They said that they're not doing hideouts, but I do think hideouts kind of have a cool thing, and are kind of interesting. So maybe there'd be like guild hideouts where you can go hang out with your clan or your guild, and it's just a communal space that y'all can exist in, something like that. Okay. Whew, we got through chat. Probably be an expansion thing. Yeah, we got through chat. All right, so I'm gonna upload this to the YouTube. Like I said, I have to go help Kylie with a few things, so I'm not gonna be able to speedrun. I was gonna do some speedrunning here, but Um, yeah, I need to go. I should do, you know, good boyfriend duties and things like that. That's the smart way to do stuff. So, well, I promise I will do a Diablo 2 health speedrun on Sunday. Um, can you talk about how the barb needs 4 weapons? I mean, it's just like having a weapon switch, right? So I think the arsenal is kind of cool. Is this the last of the playlist? No, I'll probably do another one around character identity, I'm thinking. I think I'll do a talk around like character identity, personality, something like that. And then I feel like there's one more that I want to talk about. I can't remember exactly. So they just deflect with, we don't want reskin D2 PoE. I mean, that's just, you know, the easy thing to say, whatever. Monster encounter and design. I mean, that could be really a good one, actually. I'm going to write that down as a note because, yeah. Good call. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I don't know enough about lore to do one on story and lore, unfortunately. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed that and enjoyed the presentation. Like I said, if you did not see the presentation, I will put it up on my YouTube very shortly. I'm going to just highlight it, push it over. It should be there in like 20, 30 minutes, whatever the processing time of it is. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy your... What is today? Friday. Hey, it's Friday. Wow. Enjoy your Friday, everybody. And I will see you guys later. Peace. Have a great one. Let's go hang out with Bloodshed.